怎么行销自己？谢谢你收看今天的《文茜时之报》。第一个，我们要为你介绍的是新加坡。新加坡刚好在金融衰退2008年那年取得 F1 的主办权，它非常厉害。它主办 F1 的赛车地点不是在任何体育场里头有赛车跑道，现在已经连续5年了。它是在它的马路滨海马路上，可见它公共工程道路的品质。狮城呢，新加坡非常骄傲的，每一年就是封路，在9月的时刻举办 F1 赛车大赛。同时跟着赛车大赛，它会有很多演唱会、各种不同的游艺表演等等。请看我们的记者沈正燕跟吴明忠来自于新加坡的特别报道。
每年9月，新加坡的滨海湾地区开始架起围栏。大半个中央商业区街道都在封路的范围，迎接的是1级方程式赛车。2008年，新加坡争取到 F1 赛事，成为全球唯一的夜间市区公路赛。这个一向强调基础建设的城市国家，市区道路的宽度、抓地力、平整性，足以应对 F1 对赛道的严苛要求。新加坡也以此展现公共工程的品质。而为因应夜间赛事，新加坡花了近2亿台币，请来意大利灯光设计师为 F1 量身定做照明系统。1500个投影灯计算着不同的角度，在不影响车手的视线下，达到和白天一样的效果。
It's physical in the direction that you need the incredible concentration because it's very difficult track. A lot of corners, wall, everything together, evening. And it's very hot, so it's very humid. So I think when you put all these things together, so it's a difficult race in this direction. And it's always the longest race. So the race there is always 2 hours, so it's very difficult in this direction.
F1 新加坡站单圈5.067公里，要跑61圈，总长309.087公里，耗时2个钟头，是全球最长也是第2慢的车道。因为多达23个弯，从1号弯前7档290公里的时速，出3号弯变成2档90公里。车手一场跑下来要换挡5000次，平均1圈刹车16次。加上赛道位于海平面，气压和空气密度较大，耗油量相对较高，轮胎耗损更是全球各站之冠，这都让新加坡站成了众家车队的噩梦。每一年赛事一定有事故，安全车出动平均5至6圈，而光在练习赛和排位赛就状况连连。
It's pretty hot and humid. Obviously, we know the circuit is physically demanding. A lot of nasty bumps and curbs, and if you get them wrong, then that will launch you right into the wall. So yeah, it's a physical race. It's tough, but I think we're fit and up for it.
弯道多，车道宽窄差距大，在市区公路赛围墙之间的斗车，对车手和策略师来说都是一场马拉松，考验车手技术，更考验车队默契、车子的性能。这正是新加坡赛道的魅力。迈凯伦的汉密尔顿本季第5度拿下杆位，在新加坡站起跑领先，没想到进入第24圈变速箱故障，无奈退赛。经验老道的舒马克则因为轮胎温度不够，导致刹车不及，追尾前车无效离场。也因为卡位擦撞不断，大会临时宣布原本61圈的赛事缩短为59圈，最后冠军由红牛车队的维特尔拿下。喝着啤酒，吹着徐徐海风，加上风驰电掣的引擎声浪，是吸引赛车迷最大的魅力。而3天的赛事如同一场嘉年华会。美国魔力红的电音摇滚回荡在新加坡滨海湾区。F1 巡回全球的赛事，在新加坡当然少不了华人歌手助阵。 周杰伦很应景，以曲超跑女神和红色法拉利一同出场，70分钟演唱13首歌，酬劳高达1500万台币，而这是全球第2大商业运动的首比。事实上，每年 F1 3天的赛事，赞助商和车迷蜂拥而至，为新加坡带来超过3万名的外国游客。不仅周边商品卖翻天，酒店高于平日10倍价格，还供不应求。3天的旅游收入超过30亿台币。重点是，透过赛事报道、试乘魅力推向全球，这旅游广告的效益无价。
We are live for Channel 5's coverage of the Singtel Singapore Grand Prix. FC the rivals of our VIP, the President, Mr. Tony Tan, followed by our Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong as well, obviously looking forward to the race tonight. And our Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Teo Chee Hean, looking very relaxed. All geared up as well. And of course, the Second Minister of Trade and Industry, Mr. S. Iswaran, that brought us the good news that's been renewed for 5 more years.
Has a great attitude about racing. I love him. I think he has a right attitude for good racing.
Yeah, he's one of the good guys that you wish would become world champion one of these days. He was so close last year, but just look at this. This is a sight that you cannot get anywhere else in the world. That is why Formula One wants to renew it for another 5 years, and rightly so as well.
Absolutely, look, it's a jewel. I mean, look at what it looks like. That's why it's called the Jewel of the East, the Jewel of Formula One. It's a beautiful sight, and we are
here. Lap, as you showed us, David, he's had some 6 podium finishes. He is now second in the championship. He's on 142 points. There's no doubt that he looks to be Fernando Alonso's closest challenger, and he will be chasing down a victory here in Singapore to narrow that gap on the Ferrari and take it into those final 6 events. Here's the grid in total detail then. It is Lewis Hamilton.
We'll have the start and the flag off of the Singtel Singapore Grand Prix. But just look at this magnificent sight as well. I mean, this has been beamed to millions and millions of homes all around the world. This is a great advert for a lovely city here in Singapore. Looking forward to the Singtel Singapore Grand Prix. And look at the Singapore flyer there as well. I mean, every shot
pushes it towards that 2-hour mark. And we just consider for a moment a small racing driver's body composition made up of about 40 litres or so of fluid, and he might lose anything from 2 to 4 litres during a Grand Prix. So he's in a severe state of dehydration towards the end of this Grand Prix. Core temperature, we've mentioned before, rises up to 40 degrees. We know that as fact because a few of the drivers swallow a small temperature thermometer, and they're able to get that data out sometime later.
So, but he did have that masterful victory in Spain earlier on. Well, there is so much opportunity for incident, if you like, around this Singapore track. We're certainly expecting a safety car at some point, but will they all get through the first few corners safely and get a decent run initially? Here we go then. Lights out, away we go in Singapore. Lewis Hamilton makes a good start, and Pastor Maldonado going with him in second place, but there's bunching behind. 4 cars abreast virtually. Michael Schumacher trying to come down the inside, but Vettel going into second. No, yes, I think Vettel has grabbed second place. Rosberg right round the outside of Mark Webber there. Grosjean on the inside. Somebody just touched the wall, I think.
And Mark Webber and Rosberg both missed the corners. We see Alonso getting up the inside of Paul di Resta, but great start from Sebastian Vettel. We'll need to see a replay of whether Rosberg and Webber gained any advantage by missing turn 2, and I believe that Jenson Button's up to 3rd.
Yeah, he is. Button's up to 3rd. Maldonado, being cautious, has dropped to 4th, and then it's Alonso in 5th, and there you've got Grosjean on the outside of Webber. Webber squeezing him out, and Grosjean having to go over the curb. And has he given the place up? Yes, he has. Remember, he's back from a 1-race ban for maybe looking after his tyres well.
We're getting into that area, Ben, where any time over the next few laps is
3rd distance. That's all. This is a long race, and the guys have to keep focused, keep concentrating. Remember, the Leinen is 17th ahead of Kobayashi, and then Timo Glock, Charles Pic still running. Let's listen in here.
My rear tires are yellow. Copy yellow. Copy yellow.
Well, that's got to be better than red. He's not telling him he's on the prime tyre, the soft tyre. That must be a grading system.
So, you know, they're a lot easier on the tyres. But for Maldonado, yeah, for sure, no way of 30 laps in those super softs. Well, I don't think so.
Those slower cars in front, so they'll be hoping that Grosjean and Rosberg will be coming in anytime soon, and then they can release some fresh air. It won't be cool air, but certainly some fresh air into those brake ducts.
Still some cars travelling on the East Coast Parkway up above the track.
You might need to cut through some two-stopping traffic. Hulkenberg, Raikkonen and Schumacher ahead of him.
And so that confirms, as we thought, that he's on 3 stops. Not going to be easy, but as we know, overtaking is difficult here. By Lotus, they got him in. Safety car is out, and will try and pick up Sebastian Vettel. Now Vettel's a long way around. He'll actually pick up a part of the group. Gary, I think the pit lane.
Just Raikkonen might just have lost a place by doing what he's doing there, but I'm sure he'll pick it back up. I'm sure he'll pick it back up again.
Just seeing the accident, David.
Circuit. And the marshals who've stood there patiently all weekend felt the need to...
Alonso up to 3rd, as we mentioned. Di Resta is now running in 4th place, then Hulkenberg in 5th position. Now, Hulkenberg has only made 1 stop in this race, and he hasn't responded to safety car. He's on a slightly different strategy, Hulkenberg. So I'm not sure that we'll see him actually be there at the end of it. And of course, then we've got Mark Webber, who's now into 6th position. Perez is in 7th. Then Rosberg, Grosjean. Maldonado's dropped down to 10th place because of making that stop. But it's sort of counted against Maldonado, all this. The timing of the safety car, I think, has hurt Maldonado. Gary, just give us a little bit of a sort of update on strategy, because Hulkenberg will, I think, have to make another stop, won't he? He's only made 1 stop so far.
He started
in this car as it heads towards the barrier.
I think Narain had one of those, didn't he?
He did indeed.
Yeah, poor chap. But he hit one of the Tech Pro barriers. They're energy absorbing. They do stop the car bouncing back out, unlike some tyre barriers.
Wonderful barriers. If you know, the barriers of choice for drivers to hit. Much better than
the arm coat.
And definitely much better than concrete, because there's no give at all in concrete.
That's right. Something like just under 1,700 of those Tech Pro barriers around this track. It takes them 3 weeks of assembling. It takes 3 weeks leading up to the Grand Prix just to get those things in place, but certainly important. Now Maldonado has come in. We heard the radio conversation that indicated there's a problem with his car, and sure enough, Pastor Maldonado has come into the pit lane.
Everybody other than Webber. Webber might have a little question mark. He's on the super softs. But for Maldonado and Hulkenberg, they've got to stop again, because they've only used the soft tyre. They haven't used the super soft tyre, so they're going to have to do it sometime. Now, I must admit, when Hulkenberg didn't come in with the safety car, I think I'd have taken a gamble on that, because letting these cars pass and catch you back up again, it takes 2 safety car laps for a Formula 1 car to catch you back up again. So that's what's going on right now. You know, it's a waste of racing laps, this procedure, but it does mean at the start of this race, whenever it restarts, all the quick cars are going to be together.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, that's part of the new rule, but it is taking a while. I mean, I'm just looking at our driver tracker, and De La Rosa still got nearly a third of a lap before he catches the back of the group. And the safety car, a quick road car, obviously nothing like the performance of a Formula 1 car, but he's trying to go quick because they're trying to maintain brake and tyre temperature. And in fact, Jenson Button's been told more brake warming required to...
Down to the slowest corner on the track.
Not much space on the way in. Perez is on tyres that are older than the others around him, so that's probably partly why he struggled to keep them behind. Here we are, side by side, as
Michael
Schumacher does it for the second year in a row. He runs into the back of another car. He hit Perez last year. This time it's Jean-Eric Vergne, and Schumacher again is out. Can set the pace. The way that he went and then backed off again, Jenson wasn't very happy about that.
Yeah, well, the stewards will...
Just hearing that the problem for Vitaly Petrov when the Caterham was a wheel nut problem, so obviously the wheel wasn't properly attached, and maybe they got on the radio to him, whether he knew or whether they got on the radio. Teams are very quick to stop a car going out on track.
Well, the last thing you need is a problem with your nuts, and that's why the team would have reacted immediately to any doubt once the mechanic had released that car.
So we are still behind safety car, second safety car period of this race. Gary, pretty people further down. Let's take another look at this, David, and it is incredibly tight down here.
Well, you would normally not expect anyone to overtake there, and look at Massa. drifting the car, more reminiscent of what you see in a MotoGP in the braking phase. So here he comes after turn 10, cuts back through 11 and 12, releases some curves, I'm sure, and then gets squeezed against the wall. But he said on the soft tyre, the prime tyre, it does look like the Red Bull has been a little bit more comfortable on that tyre than the McLaren this afternoon. McLaren looked the more dominant car on the super soft. And as we get into the DRS being re-enabled, crucially Button is about 1.4 seconds behind Sebastian Vettel, so he won't get the DRS effect as we enter this lap.
Good lap from Button as well. He only lost a couple of hundredths of a second, so they are pretty evenly matched at the moment on this restart. 1-2, and then Alonso in third was a little bit slower. The Ferrari doesn't have the pace of the McLaren. Will only be one lap short. Oh,
and he
down
goes
the inside, and can he get past
Contact,
Perez?
and he's front wing,
and it takes the front wing off of Perez's car.
Send me a tweet if you think that my old eyes are failing me, but that's how I would read that one. Let's see what the race stewards decide. Then Alonso, meanwhile, has set the fastest middle sector of the Grand Prix so far. 43.6, couple of tenths quicker than our race leader Button, and that's him just responding
race
to the
Vettel.
Excuse me?
Race leader
Vettel. What did I say, Ben? Button, excuse me.
You gave Button.
The McLaren just not quite as comfortable on this soft tyre, the prime tyre that's available this afternoon, and it's such a yo-yo of performance between these cars. They'll have plenty of fuel, of course, on board, given the safety cars, and the fireworks explode above the bay here. Fantastic scenes celebrating the 5th running of the Singapore Grand Prix.
Beautiful, yeah, it always looks so stunning, this place at night time, and once again it's delivered an entertaining race. Sebastian Vettel won here last year, and now he's won again.
You beauties, well done. You've won the Singapore Grand Prix again. You're back in this championship, well done. Good man, top job, top job.
Thank you, buddy. This one for you in all the heat.
Great reaction. And you know what, in 2010, not last year, but in 2010 when we had that wonderful battle for the championship, he was 31 points off the lead of the title race in Singapore, and he went on to win. And there were fewer races left on the calendar. He was 39 off the lead coming in this time. There is no reason why Vettel can't do what he did in 2010 and take it all the way to the wire and keep that pressure on. Third place finish today. Hamilton, well, he's not out of it, but it's going to hurt hugely, having suffered the loss of...
Still lost more than he's won, so you have to deal with the disappointment which inevitably comes. That's obviously not a record you'd want if you were a boxer, but it's part of Grand Prix racing.
So 23rd career victory for Sebastian Vettel, and that matches Nelson Piquet Senior now. So Nelson Piquet, a winner also of some 23 Grand Prix, and Sebastian Vettel doing it at such an important time. There's been 9 Grand Prix have taken place this year since his last win, but just look at that, the fireworks over Singapore.
怎么行销自己？谢谢你收看今天的《文茜时日报》。第一个，我们要为你介绍的是新加坡。新加坡刚好在金融衰退2008年那年取得 F1 的主办权，它非常厉害。它主办 F1 的赛车地点不是在任何体育场里头有赛车跑道，现在已经连续5年了。它是在它的马路滨海马路上，可见它公共工程道路的品质。狮城呢，新加坡非常骄傲的，每一年就是封路，在9月的时刻举办 F1 赛车大赛。同时跟着赛车大赛，它会有很多演唱会、各种不同的游艺表演等等。请看我们的记者沈正燕跟吴明忠来自于新加坡的特别报道。
每年9月，新加坡的滨海湾地区开始架起围栏。大半个中央商业区街道都在封路的范围，迎接的是1级方程式赛车。 2008年，新加坡争取到 F1 赛事，成为全球唯一的夜间市区公路赛。这个一向强调基础建设的城市国家，市区道路的宽度、抓地力、平整性，足以应对 F1 对赛道的严苛要求。新加坡也以此展现公共工程的品质。而为因应夜间赛事，新加坡花了近2亿台币，请来意大利灯光设计师为 F1 量身定做照明系统。1500个投影灯计算着不同的角度，在不影响车手的视线下，达到和白天一样的效果。
It's physical in the direction that you need the incredible concentration because it's very difficult track. A lot of corners, wall, everything together, you know, evening. And it's very hot, so it's very humid. So I think when you put all these things together, so it's a difficult race in this direction. And it's always the longest race. So the race there is always 2 hours, so it's very difficult in this direction.